Welcome to AMT Headingley Stadium. Welcome to the Howard Suite. Nice to see you all here. I'm Rob Oates. I'm the MD here at Leeds Rhinos, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Leeds Rhinos Women's Launch Night.
It does only feel like yesterday that we did exactly the same thing last year, but I think tonight's a little bit of a different twist on it. Having all the groups in one room together makes it a little bit more special and a little bit different, and it's fantastic that we're able to do that tonight. And this year, looking forward to working this group. We've got some fantastic players that we've recruited to bring in. We've also got some fantastic players that have been promoted through our academy system that we're so proud to have. So really looking forward to getting started in a couple of weeks' time.
Tonight it's all about showing the pathway, celebrating our pathway, and doing it with family and community coaches in the room, because it's obviously a really big part of their journey for the girls. We've had girls in the room tonight who are brand new to the club, some that have been promoted onto the next part of their journey on our pathway. So it's really important, and I think that's the thing, is if they can't see it, they don't know they can be it. And I think that hearing from a lot of the girls tonight, from the women's first team on their pathway, seeing that they've been sat where they've been sat, but the things that they've achieved within their career so far and that they want to go on to achieve is really good. And obviously for the under-16s this year, we did a nice touch. I asked all the girls to put a message in the bag for the under-16s, just a little bit about, you know, a good luck message more than anything, and just something about them to feel really welcomed at the club. And hopefully it's a nice touch, and it's something that they might keep for years to come, and they never know, they might be playing alongside that player who wrote them their notes in years to come. But they're obviously inspirational to the players who are striving to take the next steps on the pathway. So it's just a nice touch from the girls to take the time to write them messages for them. Yeah, we've got a great group of players in the women's first team, and for some of them they're dead young, and they can see that one's so far away from them, and they almost probably feel a little bit weird that they're in that position to be connecting with the girls who are not much younger than them. And we've also got some more senior players who can really do that, and I think that they care about our system because of, if they've been in it, they understand how important it is, and if they haven't, they've played alongside players who have, and they see how valuable they are to our club and to our team. So yeah, it's been a really good night. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's one of the best nights on the calendar year, and hopefully the players have done the same and their families.
I still laugh now, like when Lois sometimes calls me a senior of the squad and stuff like that, because I just don't see myself like that. And I just think, like, it feels like a minute ago that I was also in that position, and it just shows how quickly you can go up the ranks and how you can break through to the first team and, you know, be making your debut before you know it. I was once in their position, along with a lot of the girls in the squad, so it's nice to be in a room full of people with a lot of talent and that want to be where we are in this position now. And yeah, it's great to be around.
So I watched them growing up, and it's been good to see the progress that the women's game's made, and to now be a part of it is really sort of encouraging. And I grew up watching Caitlin Beavers because she was young just like I was when she first started out, and she was a full-back as well, which was my aspiration. So it was really nice to see her, and now to be playing hopefully on the same team as her.
Obviously I've been in and around the programme for the last couple of years, but this is the first kind of year that I've taken over as head coach, so really excited. We are halfway through block 1, so we've been back in since September, so the girls have been really good, so it's going really well.
We 100%, we said that, you know, your youth and your pathway would be a bloodline, and last year we had 12 within the women's first team squad representing. You think about, you know, how young some of them players are. Frankie Blakey coming into some games and you know, scoring some key points and some key tries. You know, Ruby and Ebony and Connie, and could go on and name all the names, but they've been ever present within that first team squad, and it's been a big adjustment for them, a big transition. But they've done themselves proud, they've done the club proud, and they've shown how that pathway is there to promote the girls to the top level, and we'll continue to support them. And I'm really excited to do that this year.
Last playing season was a really full circle moment. Obviously people like Ruby Walker, Ruby Enright, Connie, Ruby Bruce are all girls that have come through our pathway and I've coached on the 16s, and then obviously to play with them last year was definitely something new. So it's nice to kind of see how well our programme works, but also being in and around the girls, which is nice. I think it shows how good our programme is and how much our programme works when you look at our heritage board and there's so many stars next to our players' names of players who have come through our system and have gone on to make their Women's Super League debut.
I've not always done rugby, so a lot of people say, you know, I've been playing since I was 3, whatever, and stuff like that, but I Well, basically, I had an after-school detention, and they told me that basically they was short on the rugby team, and it was like, you either come play with us or you can stay in detention. I chose to go play rugby and played the game, and I did a full lengther, got to the end of the field, threw the ball down, thinking that's how you scored a try. Obviously, everyone was screaming at me for knocking it on, but it was the greatest time ever, and ever since then I loved the sport. And then Lois rung me on my 16th birthday to bring me through to the academy, and ever since then I've just not looked back. Probably just work hard. I think you might not have all the talent. I haven't always had the talent. I still don't, and I just think if you work hard, that'll probably what get you places. So don't worry if you're not the most talented in the room. If you work harder than that person next to you, then you've got more of a chance of being one of the superstars.
Prior to Christmas, we'll be training twice a week, just leading up, sort of getting everyone's feet back under the table. And once that's done with, and we're into the new year of 2026, we'll start to train 3 times a week, adding an additional session in on a weekend, and that'll actually mostly be a joint session with the women's group as well, which will then help us develop as a team, but also challenge the women's team as well on a regular basis, and something me and Lois are really looking forward to putting into practice.
Yeah, so the 15s and 16s is a P2P programme, and essentially there's no games, but they do 4 blocks across the year, and look predominantly at core skill, and look at building athletes. I think the big thing with our programme now is about creating good rugby players, creating great people, but also athletes as well, so they can handle the increase in intensity within our women's game.
Yeah, probably more so when I was in the academy and things like that, nutrition, things like that. Probably the gym weren't as big as it is now, and to see like the under 16s and things like that doing nutrition and really getting into the gym, like that can only make the products that we're getting now even better, and the women's game is just going to expand even more from starting them younger. I mean, the skills that people have now compared to what it was a couple of years ago is crazy.
For me, the main important part is the development of a player, both personally and on the field as well from a rugby perspective. We have got some players that are making a little bit of a step up as a transition into the women's squad this pre-season from their hard efforts throughout the year last year, and we've got some fresh young talent that are wanting to keep pushing and keep driving through the system.
We have regular meetings and they talk to me a lot and they've given me a lot of feedback, and just working on myself, becoming a better person, and that's allowed me to move up and hopefully stay there. I think you learn a lot about rugby, but you also learn a lot about yourself. It's a difficult environment, you get challenged a lot, but you're surrounded by a lot of girls who are in the same situation. So it's nice and you make lifelong friends. I'm really excited. I think we had a good season last year. I'm ready to get back into pre-season, see all the girls and get cracking.